Hello and welcome to Talking Books. I'm Jill de Villiers. Today we're talking money, and more specifically about what you can do to achieve financial independence. My guest is Moroka Modiba, founder and director of Fatima Capital, Wealth and Asset Management Company. And his book is Think Yourself Rich, a step-by-step guide to financial independence. Moroka, welcome and thanks for coming in to chat to us.
No, thank you very much for the invite.
Now, the title of the book, Think Yourself Rich. Is this now a question of going to sit back and thinking, I am going to be rich. I believe I am going to be rich.
Well, that's close. That's close. But the concept comes from, I think, therefore I am, or as a man thinks, is he, so is he, so it comes from that concept that, if you want to achieve anything in life, the first thing that you need to do is really visualize, about what you're trying to do, right? You must have an image, a picture in your mind, of you already successful, right? So once you have accomplished that, I think you are more than halfway there. So the mind being the powerful weapon that one possesses, it will help you in terms of channeling your actions, towards achieving that goal and making it reality. So thinking part of it is the most important.
Now, who introduced you to this? It was your grandfather.
My grandfather, actually, he was a wise man. He was a forward thinker, and he's one of the guys that I've learned from him that, rainy days are part of life, and they're inevitable, so you need to be always prepared, because they are coming, right? So it's the guy that introduced me to the concept of always, thinking ahead, so some of the lessons that I learned from him, from his wisdom, I've captured in the book.
Now, it's one thing to start thinking of building wealth, but when you're young and you start off, a lot of people make a lot of mistakes before they can actually start building their wealth. What was your experience and how did you start building yours?
I think one of the biggest challenges is basically, not having the conversation at home about money. I come from a generation whereby, the minute you start asking your parents about, you want a soccer ball, the first thing like, oh, we don't have money, and the conversation is over. So I think, we need to have that conversation at home, and as well as in schools, right? Because what's happening now is most of us, we're not getting any education or we're not equipped with the information on how to deal with our money, right? So it's about trial and error, right? So myself, being a product of boarding schools, my parents just give me pocket money that's supposed to manage, I'm supposed to manage for 2 or 3 months. So I will just, take that 50 Rand and spread it. Every month I'll spend, 15 Rand and, so that's how I learned. But as you grow, obviously there's other elements that come into play. Now you need to buy yourself, some airtime, you need to buy yourself clothes and, so I think this is where, the budgeting comes in. This is where the plan needs to come in, the financial planning needs to come in, right? So, and this is what, I've captured in my book to say, look, if you want to create wealth, let's start from the foundation, let's start from the basics, the planning and the budgeting, and we can build from there.
Now, if you look at our education system, there's a subject, a compulsory subject that all school students have to do, and that is life orientation. Now, that it says to you, you think life orientation, surely people will be learning how to deal with money, because money is the most important thing really in life, how to live your life successfully. But they don't. They learn all sorts of other things like sex education and so on, and not about money. How can we get that to change so that that could focus more on money?
We've been having this debate for a very long time, if not centuries, to say, look, we need to introduce financial literacy, a subject into our schools and very early, and we're still having that debate, and I agree with you. We need, actually, I believe we need a subject that focuses on money, not be part of, a subject that only focuses on money, how maybe we can tie it to entrepreneurship, how to start a business and how to manage your money and how to manage your own personal money. So I think it is very important because, you know, if you look at the level of financial literacy in South Africa, is very, very, it's very worse. I mean, that's why we rank amongst, you know, the worst savers in the world, right? So I think, you know, we have a big challenge, and I think we can do more to improve our situation, and that's from home and schools and personally, you know, empowering ourselves.
Now, what are the first steps in financial planning that people should take?
I think, you know, the goal of a financial plan is basically to, you know, establish where you are and where you're trying to be in the future, right? So the minute you need to achieve something, you need to understand, you know, what do you have, you know, as a starting point, right? And where do you trying to go, and how long will it take you to get there? So this is basically understanding your net worth, or as we call it, your net asset value, right? So, and the financial goals is basically to guide you in terms of, you know, what you can achieve in short term, which can be from a day to 2 years, or mid-term to long term, which is something that you can achieve, you know, in 10 or 20 years. So the financial planning is there to establish where you are and where you're trying to be in the future.
Now, what is more important, savings or investing?
Both. Both. I think, you know, because they're different. You know, saving is just basically moving, putting money away for rainy days, you know, emergency money. You want that money, you know, as soon as possible, right? So it must be accessible, right? So that's very important. Whereas investing is about growing your money. You know, this is a long-term type of a journey. So you need both. You need to save money, you know, for you know, short-term goals, and also you need to invest your money, you know, for long-term goals.
Okay, so I think that the main investments people start with when they start out would be their homes, buying a home, and then perhaps a retirement pension fund or a retirement annuity. And then retirement annuities, or pension funds, people stop a job and then they just take the money back, and they don't think of the day that they're old, and they're actually going to be poor. And there's also poverty mindset for when you are old. How do you get rid of that?
So this one, I think, is just discipline. That's the key word there. And I think, you know, as long as one is equipped with information, you know, they will make informed decision. You know, so I think, you know, when you understand the power of compounding interest, you know, you wouldn't put yourself at the position where, you know, you spend your retirement early before you reach the retirement age. So I think that one, in my personal opinion, I think the government also needs to step in, you know, to kind of put laws in place to prohibit people, you know, from spending them. I know a lot of people will strangle me, you know, for this. But, you know, I think some way, somehow, we need laws to say, look, probably you can take only 25%, not your full, you know, retirement, and the rest just put it aside, you know, because it is a problem. That's why 90% of people, when they retire, they don't have enough savings to sustain them in their retirement age.
Now, say a person has already reached that mindset where they started saving, they're planning for their old age. When do you know you're ready to start investing on the stock exchange?
I think when it comes to retirement is supposed to be something that, even though you're struggling with debt, it's supposed to be there accumulating, right, at the background, right? And once you get rid of your debt, and, you know, you have, you know, some surplus cash inflow, then you can channel it into assets that will grow and generate interest and dividends. So I think investing is not only for retirement. You know, people want to achieve a lot of things. People want to send their children to good schools. People want to take overseas trips. You know, they want to, you know, upgrade their homes, and this is where investment comes in. You know, so I think one should consider doing both at the same time. You know, investing for your retirement and your other financial goals.
Now, what about for short-term savings and stuff, exchange-traded funds and unit trusts and tax-free savings accounts? So, was that good?
No, of course, they're brilliant. They're brilliant. I think, you know, one thing I like about, you know, South Africa right now is that, you know, our market, you know, offer us different, you know, channels and different investment products, whereby, you know, even a low-income earner can start saving and investing, you know, either through, you know, unit trust or exchange-traded funds, or even their stokvels. You know, we can do it that way, or investment clubs, you know. So there are a lot of products that, you know, caters for both, you know, the low-income earners and the high-income earners. So for me, you know, you can start there if you want to start small, you know, probably saving, you know, 50 Rand, 100 Rand or 150 Rand a month. You can start with the unit trust, exchange-traded funds. But if you have a lump sum, I think it's always advisable to go directly into the stock market, because there you can pick and choose which companies you want to invest in.
Now, to wrap up this conversation, let's get back to the title of the book, Think Yourself Rich, and the importance of your mindset as to while you're doing your financial planning, to keep your mind in the right place.
Yes. You know, it's a journey. It's a journey. So once you start your journey in terms of putting the financial plan in place, putting your budget in place, you know, having your financial goals set, I think, you know, managing your finances, you know, this is where it's going to help you to achieve your goals as quickly as possible, rather than taking the long route, you know. So it's very important to always keep your eyes on the ball, you know, and be disciplined.
And look at your finances on a regular basis, not sitting back and thinking it'll sort itself out by itself.
Of course, absolutely, absolutely, yes.
Moroka, thank you so much for coming in and chatting to us. And that was the book, Think Yourself Rich, a step-by-step guide to financial independence. And thank you very much for watching. See you next time.